I'm going to ask Al to come up, and he's going to share about the Kenneth Hardin Foundation. And one of the things that we know that it doesn't matter what nationality you are. Our common goal is about love, learning how to love one another, no matter what it looks like, no matter what anyone else would say. Oftentimes, Hispanics and African Americans have been taught to have a racial divide against one another, when in reality, we all came from the same seed. We were born dirt, came from dirt, and guess what? We'll go back to dirt one day. It's just what address are you going to when you go back to that dirt? Because that's the important thing, is what address will you be going to? Al, come on up.
Danica couldn't be here today, but she sends her solidarity and love to all the people who've lost their family members to police terror, to interracial profiling. Danica manda su solidaridad y respeto y amor a todos. Han perdido sus queridos, a los asesinos, policías y el perfil racial. I'm going to bring up Lori Valdez. She'll tell you about Josiah and Antonio Guzman Lopez.
Hi everybody, good afternoon, and thank you Wanda for letting me have this opportunity. My name is Lori Valdez, and Antonio Guzman Lopez was murdered February 21st, 2014 by the San Jose State Police Department. They shot him twice in the back. And the story is that he charged at one of the officers and they were afraid for their life. And May of this year, they justified it, of course, but they haven't released the body cam videos that they had on. They have a gag order on them. So my movement is for justice for Josiah. This is Josiah. He lost his dad when he was 4, and he'll have to grow up without his dad for the rest of his life. And Antonio's not here. There's no more justice for him, and so, but there is going to have to be justice for this little boy right here, because he has to grow up with the fact that he lost his dad the way he did, but he's traumatized. He lives in fear. He cries. The aftermath is not something I want another child or another family to ever go through. It's horrible. And my fight is to change things, to change and make some kind of a change that's going to protect our children first before the adult cops. Because when cops can act and continue, we can have zero tolerance in our schools for our children. And just for doing a minor thing, they can go to juvenile hall and get a record like that. But we cannot hold adult men accountable and put zero tolerance policies for these police.
There is school shootings. We see on-site counselors immediately after the shooting. And so it's important for us as a society to know that when other individuals see shootings and they see their friend or their loved one killed or shot, that therapy needs to be offered unto them as well. And oftentimes we don't offer it. And so our society want to know why we have such a generation. I'm going to ask my brother to come up here with me for a few minutes. We want to acknowledge someone who has, from the first day that Oscar was killed, he has been on the scene and he has been a great part of our lives. He is a man who came to my mother's house and he traveled to LA with us. He was actually probably more in the courtroom than I was. This man, he did so much to ensure justice occurred for Oscar. He held town hall meetings every weekend. Not only did he hold town hall meetings, but everywhere that he went, he talked about what happened with Oscar. He has not only been someone who we didn't know at first, but he has become our friend. He has become our brother. He has become one who we know that it didn't matter what it didn't matter what religion we were, but we understood that love can conquer all. And so when he saw the injustice of what occurred with Oscar, he worked to ensure and to make sure that the community knew, as well as he went into the district attorney's office and instructed the district attorney to hold the officer accountable. And I want my brother to say a few things about this man, and I know he knows who I'm talking about, so I want him to say a few things about him as well.
Well, let me say first hello to the community, for being here today on this day, this important day for us as a family. We say again to you, thank you for being here and thinking about Oscar and standing with us. This person that my dear sister has been speaking about has become extremely important to us in this movement for justice, not just for Oscar, but for many of the families in our community across this nation. And I'm sure all of you know who he is, and if you don't, you will get to know him today. Without, going further into the details of everything, let me just right now invite Minister Keith Muhammad here to this podium to share some words with you. And right before he speaks, on behalf of the Oscar Grant Foundation, our family, my sister specifically, and of course, Oscar, who says thank you to Minister Keith Muhammad. We'd like to present to you the Social Justice Award titled Justice and Racial Equality Award from the Oscar Grant Foundation, honoring Minister again, Keith Muhammad. We thank you.
First, every important event in our lives should begin in God's name. So we begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. I bear witness that Abraham, that Moses, that Jesus, and that Muhammad are his messengers. It is in the name of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that I am honored to greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. First, it is certainly my honor, and I am humbled by this demonstration of gratitude in our work for the struggle that we stepped into for the community in January of 2009 was certainly and is certainly a very great one. It's a journey we stepped into that we have not yet ended. And so we accept this great plaque with great humbleness and gratitude and as encouragement, because as soon as we begin to take credit that we really do not deserve, as a Muslim, I am taught that all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor belongs with God himself. And if we can play a part in this great fight, then we thank God for the part that he has allowed us to play a role in. Now, when we stepped in, we hadn't yet met our sister. We hadn't yet met our brother. I can tell you what we were well acquainted with before January the 1st of 2009. And that is that we were well acquainted with the burden of oppression that our people have suffered. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote it into the program of the faithful that we want justice. Equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, or class or of color. There are many that became alarmed when a movement arose after Oscar called Black Lives Matter. And some were alarmed at the label or the title of the group. Let's just settle your nerves for just a moment. Do you know how we know that Black Lives Matter? Because in the beginning, blackness covered the earth.
Amen.
And everywhere you travel on this earth, the first people that you'll find as residents of the earth are black people. So if we go to Japan, the original people there are black people. If we go to South America, the original people there are black people. If we travel to North America, the original people here are black people. Of course, Black Lives Matter. But unfortunately, the laws of the land in which we lived were written by those who framed mischief in law. So in the 1850s, a black man that had been freed from enslavement and found himself in free territory, his name is Brother Dred Scott. Say Dred Scott. Dred Scott. Well, he thought he was free. He made it into free land, and we all know and love Harriet Tubman and the journey of the Underground Railroad. But what they don't tell you was Harriet Tubman was a fugitive of the law. They looked at her work and declared that what she was doing was unlawful. And if they could have laid a finger on our sister Harriet, not only would they have arrested her, they may have killed her on sight. So when Dred Scott made his way into free territory, he was arrested under the fugitive slave laws. And it was said that if you capture an escaped slave, they must be returned to captivity. In other words, a free black man is not a free black man. So the Supreme Court rendered a decision. And when Judge Taney rendered his finding, he said of black people, you are not citizens and you don't have any rights. In fact, he said that no black man has any rights that a white man is bound to respect. So it doesn't matter who you cry out for, there is a system that is responsible. But know for a surety, wherever you find a system, you found a web of deceit. And it is a web of deceit spun by a deceitful spider. So our problem is not just the system. Our problem are the spiders that are spinning the webs that have made it so that our brother Tamir Rice, playing with a toy, can be taken down and it be said that it was a justifiable homicide. It is a system that has said that our brother Andy Lopez, right here in the Bay Area, playing with a toy, that his life can be taken from him and no charges be brought against those that take his life. Therefore, his murder was called justified. Now I stand before you while we celebrate the life not only of our beloved Oscar, but of all of us. Which is why when Oscar was murdered, we declared right away, I am Oscar Grant. Not because we had a chance to get acquainted with his beautiful life, but because being raised in America, we were already acquainted with his beautiful life. Look at these beautiful sisters and brothers in this crowd. Everyone has a life that matters. There is not one that is here today whose life does not matter. But there's something very special about those that have survived 400 plus years of slavery, of suffering, and of death. And as we speak, there's a case in San Francisco right now. We met with the district attorney in San Francisco on the day that a press conference was held before a building they have the nerve to call the Hall of Justice in San Francisco, where a young man, Mario Woods, 26 years of age, is shot twice by bean bags to make him to drop a kitchen knife. And as he stumbled in recovering from the shots they laid on him, they unloaded 40 shots at him, alleging that he posed some kind of a threat